really the team to beat now in the AFC East?
If Tua is healthy, this could be the year that the Dolphins are the heavies.
I realize teams offensively get in personnel because they want to. Mike McDaniel gets in personnel because he wants you to be in something specific.
You're seeing two guys who are so in sync. They're so in rhythm. This is Tua Tagovailoa at his best.
You guys, I mean, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that if you were one of the many people that had the privilege of tuning in to this game, you knew damn well that we were eventually going to have to sit down and have a serious conversation about the Miami Dolphins. Because, well, it's not every week you see a team put up some of the historic numbers that they did, not to mention against one of the better air attack defenses in all of football. But yes, while I do know that it is just one game, that still doesn't mean that the rest of the NFL isn't absolutely hating what the Dolphins are actually trying to do. But before we get into that, today's video is brought to you by our friends at Raycon. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Between everything that I typically do in a day, whether it be working out, editing my videos, etc., premium quality earbuds are a necessity in my life. And well, ever since I got my hands on Raycon, I haven't looked back. Because with Raycon's everyday earbuds, not only do they look, feel, and sound better than ever before, but with optimized and adjustable gel tips designed specifically for the perfect in-ear fit, they're both the most comfortable and durable earbuds that I've ever had, and I can testify to this with using them just about every chance that I get. But aside from some of the other features I love, like their different sound profiles or their noise isolation versus awareness mode, is that Raycon offers the same premium quality of earbuds as others at an affordable price. And with their annual back-to-school sale going on right now, you can get 20% off site-wide and free shipping for a limited time through the link in the description. So once again, be sure to check out the link down below and get your hands on the reliable and accessible premium quality earbuds at Raycon. Okay, so to get back on topic with the Miami Dolphins, this is a team coming off of a season in 2022 that while they definitely had their highs and of course the lows right alongside it, it feels like there were way too many people just essentially disregarding them going into this season. And I mean, sure, while off-season acquisitions such as Jalen Ramsey and Deshaun Elliott on the defensive end, or even others like Braxton Berrios on the offensive side, I guess don't necessarily move the needle for some people out there, but I think a lot of those same people are forgetting the simple fact that when this guy was healthy last season, he was putting up one of the most efficient years we've ever seen from a quarterback in NFL history. And before any of you try to clown me in the comments for just saying that, that's not even an exaggeration. And then, of course, as we see Tua in this offense picking up almost exactly where they left off last season and putting up nothing short of an opening day masterclass, it's even funnier when you look at the film and realize that this team was barely projected to hit double-digit wins this season. And yes, again, you guys, I understand that one game is definitely not going to tell the entire story with this team, but we can say it certainly painted a picture for us. And well, that picture is something that I don't think we have necessarily seen yet under head coach Mike McDaniel. Now, whenever most people think of the Miami Dolphins offense, and I guess more specifically their air attack, it's no secret that these two are probably what first comes to mind, and that's for obvious reasons. But while everyone initially assumes the Dolphins will use this pair to constantly stretch the field and even big play hunt with frequent deep routes, and don't get me wrong, because they definitely have done that to a very high degree in the past, this year with Mike McDaniel's scheming, that might not be the case. For example, as we've seen already through just one game, the ways in which this team utilizes every single one of their receiving targets completely differs depending on the defensive coverage. And well, while pressing and going into man coverage against guys with speeds like this, I'd say it probably isn't the smartest move, yet there are still teams like the Chargers doing so in 2023. But again, as we see through the film, instead of constantly using these guys in go or fade route situations to try and stretch the field, they always tend to hit secondaries where they least expect it by abusing the short to mid-range game, and more specifically in between the numbers. And then when you consider some of the other things that McDaniel is incorporating, such as pre-motion sets to get even further separation off of the jump than what these guys are already capable of, I mean, trust me you guys, this isn't just going to be a week 1 theme. Defenses have no choice but to stretch the field in threat of the deep ball against these guys, thus, as you can see, providing shorter range of the field yards after the catch situations that you really don't see in any other air attack across the league. But then the worst part about all of this is that when this air attack finally convinces a defense to not stretch the field in threat of the deep ball, they will, of course, finally hit you with said deep ball for 6. You want the closest thing to the definition of unstoppable, it might be this offense. But even though in some ways this playstyle might seem counterintuitive to some, it actually more so leans directly into some of this team's biggest strengths. I mean, for starters, it's clear through the numbers that Tua, both accuracy and efficiency wise, is far and above at his best when he is targeting the middle of the field, and with an offensive line that definitely still needs to see some more improvement this season, especially with the current absence of Terron Armstead, McDaniel having Tua rely on quick dropbacks and banking on receivers like Jaylen Waddle, but even guys further down the line like Berrios, Cracraft, and tight end Durham Smythe to make the big plays themselves rather than putting Tua further at risk waiting for plays to develop is something that I'm going to assume all Dolphins fans out there will take every single day of the week. Even though we have seen some early improvement as well from Tua in terms of his pocket awareness and avoiding getting hit. But believe me when I say this, it's not just the guys split out wide that are making this offense click so effortlessly. Now, if you absolutely had to pick a weak side to this Dolphins offense, it's no question that it would be the run game. And yes, while it wasn't necessarily the most efficient in 2022, and some people think there weren't the necessary moves made that were needed to improve this aspect of the offense, I think it's pretty clear early on that the current backfield composition of this team might not be as bad as some people think. Now, sure, I get it that the top 3 names in Miami's backfield are not necessarily going to turn the heads of any outsiders, but in terms of its number 1 priority, which to me is complementing the pass game and making it easier for the all-around operation, I mean, at least through 1 game, it's done just that. And as it currently seems like McDaniel is going to continue his heavy use of play action sets, having Mostert as your RB1, especially with his increased power presence so far this year, he will definitely be able to set the tone and keep defenses guessing between the pass and the rush. However, once again, health is definitely going to be something that Miami continues to pray for. And then even if you want to talk about the defensive side of this team, while I know they didn't necessarily get off to the strongest start this season, with the new additions and guys like defensive coordinator Vic Fangio and even further add-ons to the secondary in Deshaun Elliott and soon to be returning Jalen Ramsey, there was definitely promising points seen on this side of the ball. But with this and everything else discussed in this video, I'm extremely curious to hear what you guys have to think. So be sure to let me know in the comments what was the most surprising aspect that you've seen from the Miami Dolphins so far this year, and as always, if you had to, give me a prediction for what their record will be by the time we hit the playoffs. But also, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all more than anything, and I will see you guys in the next video.